I'm now sitting here in front of the library. I don't need to be quiet, but it's quiet. It's nice and quiet here. There's not many students out, but yeah, it just feels nice to be in a university educational environment. You know, I really miss it. It's very clear that I miss it. Yeah, beautiful trees, very old. Nice little park here in front of the library. I was just here like at the library the first day, I believe. There's palm trees on campus. These gorgeous trees right here. And yeah, got my flight later tonight, but I am here. Just sitting here reflecting about my conference experience, you know, sort of reflecting on next steps, not only with my research, but also like with life in general. A lot to think about, a lot to, you know, consider. There's some confusion here and there. There's a little bit of an identity crisis, I think, that I've confirmed, that I've known that I've had for a long time, but also that I've felt like it's been confirmed after coming here. I think it's really brave of me to appear at such a niche conference like this with no affiliation, you know, and to keep going, to keep moving with all that I have struggled with the career setback that I've had, which is natural. Like a lot of people have career setbacks because of a lot of factors, both external and internal. And for me, it was definitely both, you know, external and internal. You know, the market forces, you know, just having to accept whatever, you know, for your personal situation, livelihood, and whatnot. And that may have to be the case going forward. There is an issue, I believe, of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging for people with neurodiversity and sort of, you know, mental health conditions and, you know, a lot of different intersecting factors with race and gender and illness and chronic conditions that are associated with disability, and that kind of impact your ability to integrate and assimilate with certain, you know, spaces. So I think it's going to take some time for it's going to take a lot of work and extra effort on our part sometimes to constantly, and it's a Pruitt-Igan bias for women of color, of course, but there's always going to be this Pruitt-Igan bias no matter what space I enter. And that's been written about by a lot of DEI scholars, practitioners, a lot of other sort of, a lot of race scholars. It feels like you have to be excellent in everything that you do because people are watching you. You can't make a mistake. And if you make mistakes, or if you say things that's sort of out of the ordinary or whatever, like Free Palestine, people will, you know, scrutinize you. That's one of the sort of elements. I mean, I'm talking a little bit about my own personal reflection, about my own personal life and considering my situation, but in addition to that, it's really difficult, you know, to be a social political scientist and all those challenges that we're seeing in academia, to come to a conference and not talk about it. I was surprised that there wasn't any, like, sort of personal conversation that was, maybe I should have initiated with people, maybe I didn't engage it with people, but there was just, I was hoping that there would have been conversations that I could have had about Palestine and academic conference with other academics. And that was something that was missing for me, I think, here. That was one of the most important things to me. I mean, the whole conference, I was wearing my keffiyeh. I wore my keffiyeh for the first time during a presentation in a plane. I really haven't taken this off since October, you know, of 2023. So it's just a part of my identity. And I think identity is something that is really challenging in DEIB, for minorities in in these academic spaces. It's always been. But there's a difference between diversity and inclusion. And I don't think there was an issue as much as on that, but there are, you know, I think it's an individual basis. You know, you're going to encounter people who are not in these conference settings, you get exposure to that even more in smaller conferences where people are just so put off by something about you that they're just not going to engage you. I'm saying this as someone with many intersecting marginalized identities, you know, and that's not to, you know, point anyone out or anything like that. That happens everywhere. Having experienced, you know, so many challenges of integrating and assimilating and in these types of spaces, I have to be able to sort of accept that, you know, understanding that this is going to be my experience. But most importantly about this experience, like I said, it's just amazing to be on campus. It's amazing to be here. I just got a bug here on my... I'll have to cut this, but yeah, it's amazing to be on campus. It's amazing to be here. Look at that palm trees on campus, and the buildings are gorgeous. And I'm just gonna get up here now because now I feel like there's bugs everywhere. But it's super hot in Florida. I mean, it's a different kind of environment, obviously. But I just really loved being here on campus. I think I got enough of it. I didn't need to stay another day. I didn't need to sort of check out the city or whatever like I always used to do. But checking out the campus, being here, seeing all these buildings, educational buildings and institutions, it's just such a gorgeous, gorgeous campus. I love it. In any case, that's what I like to do every time I go to an academic conference or an event or whatever around the world. I just love going to the campus. I love going to the library here. I was here the other day and just, you know, stopped by here, and just it's beautiful. I just had such an amazing time in this regard. And you know, I mean, I have sort of had the best sort of performance in my presentation, but and I'm super rusty in terms of the academic environment. But like I said, I think it's a very brave thing to do for me to come, and perhaps one of the reasons why, understanding that I also have, I mean, the circumstances that I've been, the challenges that I've experienced the past 3 years, and transitioning out of my PhD program and figuring out what's next. I mean, I'm going to face a lot of those challenges, and it's going to continue, but I'm going to take this summer to really reflect not only on this experience, but just generally about academic job market. I really do want to positions that I could take for research or postdoc or whatever to continue the research. I don't think I'm that far away. Sometimes on the tip of your fingers, tip of your tongue, you know, like it's not too far away, but it's not quite there yet, you know, and I feel like I am probably there. I just, there needs to be a little more of a focus. Given all these other activities like this YouTube channel and also other things, I just have to consider prioritizing, you know, what is it that I want to do. Like, you know, I'm also, you know, a creative writer. I've just been trying to nurture every part of my identity. And when you're nurturing every single part, sometimes you miss out on certain aspects of the other. Maybe I was doing too much, or maybe I am doing too much. I gotta prioritize. I gotta learn to prioritize, you know, what is the best. And I think part of that is also just figuring out who I was and who I am right now. And just to being able to do everything that I love to do. So yeah, this is just a reflection here, sitting on campus. I've really enjoyed being here. And I feel so like, I think, yeah, I've already talked about like some of the lessons learned from this experience, but one of the biggest lessons learned is make sure you get a lot of rest and taking care of your health. That was the biggest lesson that I learned from my PhD program in general, and I'll talk about it in future videos about, you know, this transition a little bit more, but overall, like, yeah, I think it was totally a worthwhile trip. It was a good change of environment. Loved being on campus, love being in a library, sitting and studying my, you know, flashcards from back in the day and putting together my presentation, but there are a lot of other lessons learned, like making sure that I think I would have enjoyed this experience a whole lot more if everything was prepared before, ahead of time. So everything, I need to do better with that with every conference. I think I kind of took the same habit that I've had with my PhD to, you know, sort of, sorry, I'm like sweating profusely here, but to sort of, you know, do things sometimes in the last minute, and that's what was happening. I was doing a lot of preparation in the last minute, and I got a lot of anxiety over that, and probably not take on a discussant role for a session or for a paper that does not connect to my research. I tried to, I don't think it was, you know, at least I had that experience for the first time. I did my discussant role, so doing that was, I think it was helpful for me to see if it's sort of something that I could do in the future. But the biggest thing here that I realized is how much my mental health situation has impacted my academic ability. You know, like I know that neurodiversity and my chronic health condition of anxiety disorder or whatever, like it's pretty serious, and making this sort of a high stakes kind of situation was probably, you know, not a, I mean, it wasn't, I didn't intend it to be, but in my mind it was, and even in that moment. So I'd really like to sort of try to be a little better, continue to improve on how to market myself in these kinds of environments. To be more around, you know, anthropologists, sociologists, and you know, qualitative folks who focus on qualitative, you know, social networks and qualitative research. Overall, it's been an amazing experience. I'm really glad that I made this experience. I'm really glad that I made it out here. I appreciate the opportunity to be here to do the research and to continue the research and to be in this academic environment and academic space. It's only been 3 years, almost 3 years now since I graduated, and there, I mean, it's okay that there was a pandemic. There was a mental health crisis during the pandemic for everybody. I'm just surprised that there isn't any respect for that. You know, there's really isn't any respect for understanding or empathy or compassion for people sometimes in these circumstances. To show a little mercy, I should stop here and, yeah, be on the move now. These are my reflections for being at PoleNet. They're rough reflections. I have other reflections I'll probably write about, journal about, you know, and blog about. So thank you for listening. This is Dr. Elsa, and let's continue these difficult conversations. See you in the next video. Bye.